now we're going to get into Colleen Ballinger and her dramas. Apparently she's been exposed. And today I think we're going to watch both of these because my hands are a little bit cooked, okay? So, like, yeah, see that? And then the other hand, you see that? Like that, it's not nice. So we're going to watch a couple more videos than usual today, and then we're going to play games a little less than usual today so that I can kind of just let this heal up a bit. But let's get into it.
Introducing HelloFresh's new Fresh and Fit summer menu.
And yes, I said that these blisters that are popped and open on my hands are because I cooked myself. It's not because I don't have calluses on my hands for working out and exercising and lifting weights and doing pull-ups and going across my monkey bars. It's the fact that it's like 93 degrees outside, so my monkey bars are over 100 probably, and they didn't feel hot, so I decided I was good to go, and that after that one I was probably going to have to start hosing it off before I did trips across, because I don't do laps there and back. I just do one and then I stop. But yeah, they were hot enough that I could hold on to it for 5 minutes, no problem. But when you start actually doing the monkey bars, you have the motion and the side-to-side motion as well as swinging the motion. It's just cooked. Made myself some hot little cook blisters, like I baked my hands, and then the monkey bars popped them. So I do still have a pretty gnarly size blister or two on each hand as well. So we're just going to try to relax and watch a few videos today instead. More so than usual anyways. Not like it's all we do, but, you know, just a couple more. Oops. We're muted.
Back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about, hey guys, what's up, and welcome back to my channel.
Here we go.
So today we're going to be talking about Colleen Ballinger. Let me be very clear about a few things before we really get into it. There is a lot of information out there.
Okay. I hope you summarize it up really well, because I have no idea what's going on. I literally pay no attention to this type of drama. The type of drama that I happen to know about is different. Maybe I should actually watch videos about the drama that I pay attention to or that I come across that I find interesting as well, instead of just things that I have no idea about. We'll see how things go.
I've been keeping my tabs, I've been bookmarking things, I've been watching things. Clearly, when I film, I need to rewatch things, I need to make notes of the minute and second things were said in videos, the screenshots on Twitter, said by who, why, are they reputable, all of that stuff. That being said, this is one part of the story, and I'm going to be focusing on Adam McIntyre's part of the story.
Okay.
Only because those were the first videos I came across.
I don't know who that is. I don't know who this lady is. Ready to Glare. I don't know who this is. I don't know who Adam McIntyre is. And we've done 1 or 2 videos on Colleen Ballinger. Like we did a video on her for Mother's Day on YouTube. Like I watched it well before that, but the YouTube video was for Mother's Day, right? So there's actually, I don't think I watched it well before. I think I watched it the day before. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Point is, just because she's on the channel doesn't mean like I'm a huge fan of hers or anything. I've seen 1 or 2 videos, but I don't really know anything about her. I don't know who this person is. I don't know who Adam McIntyre is. And that's kind of the theme of the channel, is I'm constantly watching things from a perspective of I don't know or I'm very excited.
I'm most familiar with the information in those videos. However, going forward, if I make other videos about it, I will include everyone else. For my own sake, in terms of explaining things clearly, I cannot include everyone in one video. I don't work that way. However, this is only one part of the story, and I'm not trying to minimize anyone else who has dealt with Colleen Ballinger. That being said, we are going to talk about Adam McIntyre's videos because there is a lot of information there, and I think Adam McIntyre and his unfortunate story with Colleen Ballinger show, in my opinion, what kind of person Colleen Ballinger is. Now, if you don't know who I'm talking about, Colleen Ballinger, you can look her up. There's not really much for me to say in terms of introduction, except for the fact that she is one of those OG YouTubers Much like Shane Dawson, it turns out in a lot of ways, where she had a character called Miranda Sings. I was never the target demographic, I don't believe, but this character, Miranda Sings, was pretty famous on YouTube back in the 2010s.
I don't know who that was either. Like, I don't know. I wasn't watching that, so still clueless.
That's really all there is to say. Colleen Ballinger is the real person, Miranda is the character, though Colleen herself has said that Miranda, the character, often says things that Colleen wishes she could say. So if you watch any of those old racist skits, she probably thought some of what she said there too. So
you can easily make that connection because of what she said. I hate when people see things like that and then go, oh, so she thought this way, especially and even if she did, 2010s, right? We're in the 2020s. So it's maybe a decade-ish ago, give or take, obviously, right? People change a lot in just 5 years. So it's important to not just strictly see things from the past and judge people on them or try to act as if that is still the exact same person that they are today at all.
So, first of all, we need to talk about Colleen Ballinger's demographic before I discuss what we're getting into, so you understand how serious what I'm talking about is. Now, Colleen Ballinger's demographic / Miranda Sings demographic, as far as I understand and from what I've seen, has always been not only minors, but what I would call young teenagers.
I forgot I had to turn this down so low, but we're going to mess with the volume a little bit. I just want to say it since people like to watch the videos from Eugenia Cooney, which were just very hard to volume out correctly to begin with because Shane is whispering half the time, and I can't turn him up any louder on my end. And one of my programs that helps with my sound on my end of things had a hidden volume mixer, like a hidden boost is what it really was, and I did not know about it. It was hidden like 5 option menus deep, and I ended up finding it and cranking that thing up. So now I'm trying to find like the right spot for the rest of the volume. So we're just going to touch on that for those of you who have been across those videos and complain about the volume and think that that's just something that we're doing on purpose or something along those lines. I appreciate being told that it's going on because my editor wasn't able to hear it with the equipment she had at the time. She notices it now with her new equipment. So it should be doing much better with the fact that the editor has new equipment and the fact that I found this incredibly hidden boost switch, like boost. Really, it's a slider, but I found that slider when I was just kind of messing around with the program trying to record some other stuff. But there's that. So hopefully the sound is better for everybody, but I will just kind of once in a while be messing with the volume and looking off to the side just to make sure that it's not peaking out and that it should be roughly in the right area according to what I'm able to see to judge the volume on your end off of, because I clearly am not going to hear it on your end.
If that. In my opinion, from what I've seen, it's always been 16 and younger, and when I say 16, I really think it's younger than that. It's like 10, 13 age range. So when we're talking about her content, keep in mind that this is meant for people who definitely cannot drive in America, and if they can drive, they're probably the outliers of the group because everyone else is vastly younger. 10 to 13, like I said, in my opinion. And if you watch the kind of quote-unquote comedy and humor, it won't appeal to most people older than those demographics because, well, first of all, it's not funny to anyone older than those demographics, but also, if you look at her mannerisms, it's clear it's not meant for adults or almost adults.
Okay. So clearly her content and stuff was meant for a younger audience. And I'm just going to throw it out there. If you're like 10 to like probably 16 on my channel, I don't know why. I really don't. I'm interested in why, but I don't know why you would be.
McIntyre made a series of videos about Colleen Ballinger and his own experiences with Colleen Ballinger, from fan to quote-unquote employee, and I'll explain what I mean by quote-unquote employee in a second. On April 28th, 2020, Adam McIntyre initially made a video discussing Colleen's fucked up behaviors. That video didn't go over well, in the sense of, like with a lot of diehard fandoms, I guess, people aren't going to be happy to hear that their favorite is actually fucked up and will defend their favorite to no end.
Never meet your heroes, right? That's what that fits into. People have never liked seeing or hearing that the people they look up to and the people they enjoy getting entertainment from are actually shitty people. And the fact of the matter is, of course they are. Of course they are. The ones who are not are going to be more rare. The ones who are less flawed, like the less flawed somebody in that position is, the more rare of a personality they are. Because most of them are going to be very egocentric, very self-centered, very, in some ways, like narcissistic and sociopathic to an extent, because they aren't really concerned about you. They want to be famous. They want to have vast amounts of wealth and attention on them. And when you have that kind of a mindset, you're not going to be the best person. Nobody is perfect, but those types of traits come with specific types of just flaws within someone's personality. And people need to understand that. And it goes into music as well. People who are performing music and playing music and singing and on stage and things of that nature, it's the same. Streamers, it's the same. That's just going to be a fairly common trait that you find amongst the groups of people who are doing things for an entertainment purpose.
This gets a lot worse if there are other people within the community who are within your age range who also don't support you and turn against you. And that's basically what happened. So the thing with Adam McIntyre, if you watch the videos I'll list below, and there are more than those, but I'm referring specifically to these ones in the description box. The thing is that the issue started with Colleen treating Adam as if he were a friend, an employee, and also a fan, which makes things complicated. And there's a reason that a lot of places, a lot of musicians, comedians, whatever, don't hire fans, because the dynamic is already difficult, let alone if your fan is a whole ass child who shouldn't be employed in the first place. And also, employed implies payment, which you didn't do for a very long time. And even when you did, I wouldn't really call it payment if you're vastly underpaying someone to the point where it was already illegal, but it should be, I guess, doubly illegal at that point.
Yep, that's a very, very fair point. If someone's an employee, you pay them. And you really shouldn't be working with somebody who's a fan at that level, because you're going to have various layers of just hurdles you're going to have to get past to get them to do the work they need to do for you, because they're used to viewing you through the lens of a fan and not the lens of a boss or a coworker and them being an employee. Like, you're changing the entire relationship dynamic between the two of you, and that's going to be a very difficult thing to manage to get through, which is also why a lot of people will tell you, don't work with family. Don't do business with family. It's because you're changing the relationship dynamic. And it's not something that a lot of people are capable of adjusting with or adjusting to and adapting toward. So doing that's not always a great idea, just in general.
She also treated him like a friend, which is part of the issue as well, because when you have a woman who's well in her 30s and then you have a kid, and you're telling this kid your business like they're your friend, but you also expect them to act like an employee, but you also know that they were and are a fan, immediately, and I know people are tired of hearing this conversation
God, my
over
nose
and over,
itches.
but the power dynamic, and this is a very real thing, especially when we see it between adults and minors, because...
Yes. And this is another reason that you shouldn't work with a fan, is because if they are a fan of yours, you're going to have a certain amount of influence over the things that they choose to do working for you that you shouldn't have over an employee. An employee should be autonomous. They should be able to do things on their own. Like, for instance, my niece is my editor. And the reason this works is because editing is a hobby for her that she enjoys doing. Videos like this, she thinks I should watch and just say what I'm going to say to her because she enjoys my input on things and thinks other people could as well. So we do that. But because of the fact that I also just stream games, it was it'd be cool if we could pull things like this as well and that as well. And we've gotten to a rhythm and a place now where we figured out how to do it. I don't tell her, hey, you should try and pull shorts from this or from that. But I say I think that we can probably get some good shorts or clips out of this content. And then she gives me her input on it. And then I say, well, if you don't mind, I'd like to do that. Or I can go about getting the shorts this way or that way, but because of the things that I'm trying to do, I personally am not going to have the time available to make it what I'm doing constantly. I won't have the time available for it unless doing this is making the money that I would be making, then I'm just not going to have the time for that, and I'll have to figure out a different way of doing it, which is fine. So rather than a dynamic of, hey, I need you to do this as well, which is what it would be if it was a fan, it's a conversation of a place of respect where there's certain things that we need to be able to get through the algorithms of just online presence, right? And if she's not interested in doing that because her idea of what to do was not down into that level, then that's fine. I'll figure out another way to do it. She said she was fine with doing it, so that's what we're doing. But if the relationship between us wasn't one that came from a place of respect, it came from a place where she's a fan and I'm the one with the content, I could just be like, hey, you need to do this for my channel, and she'd go, oh, okay, I guess it's my job now, and then I guess pay her nothing, which, I mean, technically my editor is getting nothing, but we have an agreement on how that's going to work out that is, we both agree, is a much better deal than an editor gets from anybody. So there it is.
Because already between an adult and a minor, the power dynamic is there. Let alone if one is a fan and the other one is a quote-unquote famous person, which is a gift I'll give Colleen Ballinger to call her a famous person, because that ship has sailed. I think now we are well into notoriety.
It's a screenshot that goes as following. So in the group chat, this time, this was 2016, I think I was 14-ish. I write, my ass looks good today, y'all. This is how, we were a bunch of kids in this group, so we talked stupidly. This is how...
That is some stupid shit. Everything that I'm seeing there is some stupid shit that me and my friends would have said to each other in like middle school or high school, like 9th grade, freshman year high school, just hanging out. This is definitely like little kids trying to be edgy and talk shit.
How we talked. And everyone in the chat ignores me because they're like, oh, they're out of...
It's also weird that it's called Colleen's Weenies. What the hell?
They would have their moments as well, right? Colleen comes into the chat after not responding to anything else and goes, pics at him for me to send pics of my ass. And then I literally say, go away, bitch. So, one of the girls in the grip. Something I'm starting to notice.
Oh, my mistake. Here, hold on. I'll put this over here so you guys can see the whole thing there. I didn't think about that. There you go. So this is what he was referring to right here.
That was one that was sent to me by one of the girls in the grip.
Yeah, so that's a hilarious response that he gave, but it's like, why is she asking to see a kid's ass?
Something I'm starting to notice. We would all be talking in the chat, but she would always find a way to make a sexual innuendo towards only you, so about me. Like, why is she always stating you by name and then saying it? Because, again, there's a lot of screenshots that are going to come out in the next few weeks of Colleen initiating conversations to do with sex or sexual jokes to me, and I would engage in them back. Because, again, I thought that she was the coolest 30-year-old in the entire world.
Okay. So was Adam responding to only those kinds of interactions, or were you responding to every interaction from her? Because that's a certain layer of context that's probably not being discussed or brought up, and maybe the only time she engaged with him ever was under those lines, right? It's always an innuendo. That's fucking weird.
That she would talk to me about sex, and that I learned a lot to do about sex, through her videos and through the Miranda content. And then whenever she would speak to me about it privately,
I just want to go back and have him say that again for specific reasons.
That she would talk to me about sex, and that she was and I would engage in them back. Because, again, I thought that she was the coolest 30-year-old
Here
in
it
the
comes.
world. That she would talk to me about sex, and that I learned a lot to do about sex, through her videos and through the Miranda content. And then whenever she would speak to me about it privately, it just kind of made sense.
Okay. Now, I want everybody who thinks that this is disgusting, that this has gone on, and people that are disturbed and bothered by this whole situation, which seems to be rightly so. I mean, it seems to be rightly so. To have the sort of feeling and response that people have had to this seems to be fairly earned. Now, here's the thing I want to point out. If that bothers you, why is it okay for teachers to have trans people come in and drag to a kindergarten class or an elementary school class? And for those of you who aren't in the U.S., elementary is primary school. Why is it that that's okay to have going on, to have these people come in and talking about sex? Why is it okay to have teachers talking about their sexual intercourse, their preferences, their relationship, and how satisfied or unsatisfied they are physically with their partners to their students who are also minors? Why is that okay outside of a sex ed class, but this bothers you? Because the fact of the matter is, the whole "don't say gay" bill that the media dubbed it and that people still refer to it as in Florida was just to restrict teachers from having these discussions with their students outside of a sex ed class. And they said, oh, well, we can't say gay. No, we just don't want you talking about sex with kids. That was what the bill was. So understand that to people who are upset and about this situation right here with Colleen Ballinger and Adam, I don't want to mess up his name, I'm just bad at it, Adam McIntyre's situation here, understand that what's making you mad about this and what makes you feel like Colleen deserves to have the response that people are giving her is the exact same situation between the trans community and children that people are pushing back against as well. And it's not just people who are far right or alt right that are doing this. Like some people are trying to tell you, it is coming from people that are in the LGBTQIAAP2174 community. It's coming from people who have always been more of a central figure politically, but now they're slammed into being on the right. Some of these people are registered devout Democrats. They always vote blue. but they're being called alt-right transphobes. So what are we really dealing with here? Because I've seen people I've seen complain about people being transphobes, angry about this situation, and upset with Colleen Ballinger about it. So I just didn't get into what they were mad about and what went on. So I didn't know that this is what it was. I just knew that these people were angry. Hey, Tangy, welcome. Hope you're having a good day.
So whenever I show you these next screenshots, I want you to keep in mind that I'm a 14-year-old who feels very comfortable talking to a 30-year-old about sex or anything because she made me feel that I could talk to her about sex because she would come to me and talk about that stuff. And here you're seeing a member of the group chat confirming that it was only really me that she would have these
That is so weird.
I was 14 years old and she was in her 30s. This is not just me saying it anymore. It's the...
I don't know. I think that might be that first person that Colleen Ballinger was, or something that this guy's done on previous videos he did. I have no idea. I've never watched any of his content, and I've only seen one or two things from Colleen Ballinger. He's not 14 now either. He's talking about a situation from his past. So there is that as well.
The group chat are confirming this. So in this group chat of my friends who were 14 to 16, they were older than me, but they were, similar age. I write, y'all, there's a dildo shop beside my hotel. Who wants to get their orders in? Making a joke to my friends who are also the same age as me. Now, to validate what Liv said about Colleen only coming in to be able to make...
It is very fruity.
...sexual innuendos to me, or whether she was starting them or engaging with them. Here's another example of that. Colleen goes, Adam, LOL. I go, is that a yes? She goes, no, that's not my thing. And I, in quotations, write, I have, because you can see in this moment, I'm quoting conversations she's had with me privately about using all of these different things. So me saying I have, in quotation marks, is directly quoting conversations that me and her have had about these things privately.
God, it's so weird. This is actually very, very odd and gross. Serious question, Coca-Cola or Pepsi? I prefer Coca-Cola. And I think part of that is the fact that my grandma was a Pepsi person, and she had an obscene amount of Pepsi at all times. And I think I got Pepsi'd out when I was a kid.
So there she basically is confirming that we did have conversations. It would mainly be about, handcuffs that she would have as Miranda, and she would make jokes that she was going to use them with Josh, or role play that she was going to do. I knew a lot about this woman's sex life by the time I was 15, so. She goes, everyone thinks I love dildos because of that video. They aren't the only sex toys in the world, Henny. And I go, yeah, we know you use handcuffs because you told they're Mirandas. So there's me confirming as well in the group chat, not knowing that these would ever come out, because I never saw an issue with these in the moment, being 14. I mean, she was just the cool friend that would,
It's so weird.
With me, I guess. Here I'm literally quoting that she would talk about using handcuffs, sexually, but that she also used for Miranda. So literally all my messages here are proving the point that I'm trying to make right now. And then she goes, I'm gonna head to bed, have fun on vacay, Adam, XOXOXO. Because she was very comfortable having these conversations with me, and I'm so glad that the other members of Weenies are now coming out and being like, yeah, she just kind of always spoke sexually to Adam, or had no problem, with these conversations with Adam. And, for me then being like, oh, we were also having them in private, and it was very uncomfortable and very weird. For them to confirm it makes me feel less crazy talking about this, so I appreciate especially Liv speaking up.
That's really, really weird to do that. Holy shit. What? Yeah, talking about what exactly? My point. She's in her 30s talking to a minor about her own sex life. I don't know why people think that this is unacceptable, but they think it's okay when it's the trans community doing it, or when it's a teacher who's doing this, who's part of the LGBTQ community, and they can do this in America, and apparently this is perfectly acceptable, and everybody pushing back on it's wrong. But then this happens, and everybody's upset about it, and people are mad at Colleen Ballinger for doing this. Rightfully so. What in the hell is going on? You know, I would say leaking private convos is yikes, but this is actually a group chat. It's not just him and Colleen. It's a whole bunch of people that are fans of Colleen's that were having a chat that she was part of in like something like a Discord server, essentially, I would assume is what it looks like. And then he's talking about private messages between him and Colleen is what he's referencing when he's saying, like, I'm using this in quotes because of a private conversation she and I had where she was talking to me about the handcuffs that she had on the video that are also what she uses in bed. That's a private conversation that he had with her, but what we're seeing on here is it's a group chat. So
Becky,
we're getting a little bit of both. I understand being a little confused.
Ramsey and everyone in the group that have confirmed that she did have these conversations with me when I was around the age of 14 and she was in her 30s.
So in this weird behavior with Adam McIntyre, we see on full display Colleen's behavior towards a minor. So here it was Adam, right? But generally speaking, to me, if you're acting some type of way with one minor, I'm not saying you act that way with all minors, but to me it says that you don't really have a very clear sense of boundaries, because the idea would be that you tell no 13-year-old about your sex life when you're 30. So if you do tell one 13-year-old about your sex life, what is stopping me from thinking you won't tell any other? Because clearly that boundary is not there for you. You don't see the issue. And that is profoundly alarming, because I wonder how many people are out there who have had God knows what kind of interaction. There's also another weird moment where she discusses her sex life in detail. With minors, again, let's remember, her main core demographic is minors. The people in her group chats are minors. So there is
so
really
weird.
No one that she should be telling that are her fans regardless, even if they're adults. I feel like that's a little bit weird. Specifically here, because her main demographic is minors, because the people in group chats are minors, there's no one she could be talking to here where it's appropriate to talk about your kinks. There's just no place for that. And on that same note of talking to a group chat of children, like I mentioned before, who was called the Weenies, that was the name of the group chat. So I know the names of group chats are references to inside jokes, whatever. When you have a group chat with minors, which arguably you shouldn't have in the first place, no matter what, because why do you need to interact with them? Why can you not do that openly in the comments? Why do you need a private place to interact with minors? That's what I want to know, because inevitably it's going to become messy. Like, even if she were a saint and completely innocent, all it takes is for two of the minors there who might be the same age to start talking about sexual shit, and anything of that nature you should not be involved in, you should not be close to. I just don't know.
What this lady's saying is absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. 100% agree. So it's not technically illegal. So talking to kids is technically not illegal. Having these types of conversations, technically not illegal. I believe it's like once you start trying to meet up with them and stuff that it's illegal technically. I don't think there's actually anything legally punishable for like grooming specifically, but I don't know 100% for sure, but I don't think it is. Talking to your cousin, our world is doomed. Very well, maybe. We're about to enter the doomer age, right? We're going to enter the doomer age. And yeah, that whole group chat was called Colleenie's Weenies. I get that things are an inside joke, but it's a group of minors. And then when she's interacting with this one person, specifically, it seems to be just this one person, it's sexual. What the hell? Yeah, none of that feels right.
Know how you think this through, I guess you don't, and come out thinking, oh yeah, it's a good idea for me to be around a bunch of minors. Especially with the content that she made, which was strongly based on innuendos, which again, your audience is minors.
I was literally in DMs talking to children about sex. Here's one. Are you a virgin?
Okay, so I never thought these messages would get out, but that was to me. These messages were to me. In
I agree. I think it's a funny name, but like it's still creepy. You know what I'm saying?
Our group chat with Colleen, we were in a group chat called the Weenies, and I wrote in the group chat and said, I'm doing a YouTube Q&A and I need questions. And Colleen was like, so this was like 2017, 2016, so I would have been 15 or something like that, 15-ish. And I was like, innocently, fuck me. But even then, I mean, you know, slam mentality, but even just in a baseline of how it went. So I wrote in the group chat and was like, and by the way, look at this, Adam, you need questions for your Q&A? Are you a virgin? And then she goes on.
This is Colleen in a group chat with children. They're called the
What?
Weenies.
She goes, Adam, do you need questions for your Q&A? When my friends would be like, you know, what's your opinion on Mariah's new song or something? So she goes, are you a virgin?
If you're in the Colleen Ballinger fandom, you know
I was like
about
15.
this group chat. She's also asking...
And she asked me what my favorite sex position is. Now, if that doesn't validate any of the stories that she would be talking openly about her sex with her ex-husband to me, then I don't know what will. Or...
That's really
about, you know,
creepy to do.
Sex with her, you know, boyfriend at the time whenever she was on her Hawaii trip. I don't know what will. That literally in a group chat of a lot of people, she was asking me questions about my sex life at 15. And by the way, these messages were not even leaked by me. Someone in that group chat started leaking all of this
Oh
stuff.
man, somebody else was doing it?
In this chat,
Jesus.
knew that this was wrong.
And this whole sexual...
So you can hardly tell the difference nowadays? I mean, that's fair, and it seems to only be in certain cultures and areas that this is an issue, and it's a strange issue to have exist. And I agree, like, Andrew Tate isn't somebody that I really like. He has points that are very good. He has some things that he says that are very accurate and that should be held into relevance, like when he's talking about things like you should get up in the morning and take care of yourself. You should exercise. There are certain things you need to do as a man, like you need to be responsible. You need to be capable of protecting things. You need to go and figure out a way to provide for your family. Those are all very good points, but then he goes off into random nonsense that I'm sure he ties these things in together strictly so that it gets traction on the internet. But those are the things everybody hears. And those are absolutely absurd things to be saying. And I'm pretty sure that the whole like switching roles thing is it's a desired outcome to have a shift of power socially that is just not working out otherwise, and they're using people's desire to sympathize and be kind to people like this, like people that are marginalized, in order to try and undermine society. It's really weird. Yeah, it really depends on the perspective, like, because when I see Andrew Tate stuff, I've actually found myself into an algorithm that has the opposite clips. So most of the Andrew Tate stuff that I come across are just short little clips and snippets where all the bad stuff is not included. I don't know how that's where I wound up. I have no idea. But I typically don't see those portions of it, and I only see the positive things of it, but I know that the negative stuff's there. And that's, you know what I mean? And as far as like his charges and stuff in Romania, I just look at stuff like that separate. The things that he's saying don't change because of what he may or may not have done, and we'll see how that whole thing ends up. But I'm not somebody who's going to judge somebody because of other stuff. Like, if you still have a point that's valid, then the point's valid regardless, you know what I mean? The misogyny is icky. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the stuff that I tend to come across, all that is clipped out of what I'm seeing, and all that I'm seeing is the, like, you should be doing these things, positive speak, And that whole, like, all the misogynistic stuff is what's getting cut out of the videos I see, the little clips and snippets. And like I said, I have no idea how that's what found its way to my algorithms, but that's what found its way to my algorithms. At first I was getting, like, the whole thing, and now it's strictly just all the stuff without the misogyny, which is really strange, because I know that it's still there. It's just weird. You got arrested by one, right? Jesus.
Streak that goes on isn't really a one-off. First of all, because it's repeated behavior, but aside from that, the titles of her videos were overtly sexual at some point.
I'm tilting my head like it's going to let me see what it says on the back of her phone case.
Like now,
Jesus.
or even just for monetization's sake due to YouTube's consistently changing rules. So initially, a lot of these titles were just openly out there being innuendos or fucking weird.
Some of the titles used to be Receiving Dirty Panties, I Hate Sexual Activity, Sexual Experience with a Fan, My Favorite Sex Noise, Corey's Package, in brackets, X-rated, I Pee on Myself, Sleeping with My Boyfriend, or I Show You My Panties.
How the hell does she make videos that are targeted to, like, a young minor audience in their early teens, and those are the titles? Yeah, Greta Thunberg, I believe, right? I think that's who it was that did it. The Swedish girl that yelled at everybody that we were killing the earth at the UN, that she got to on her private yacht because her family takes a yacht everywhere because she doesn't like airplanes. That girl is like the epitome of privilege and just being completely just disconnected from reality, really. It's real weird watching the things she says. Dr. Phillips' mustache. Oh, man.
We also have a clip here from one of her videos with her sister Rachel, where she is getting Rachel to basically like deep throat a microphone while her nephew Parker, who is a literal baby, is sitting watching all of it happen, and it's a joke that they're doing this in front of him. Normal. Amidst
That's a
all of
weird,
this backlash,
weird
Colleen
one.
Ballinger has been changing titles that were in vlogs of her niece Bailey, where the title is Girl on Girl Action or Sexy Pole Dancer, and the thumbnails are of her young niece. And she has since changed them to just Christmas vlog and Xmas vlog. We have this one with her nephew, where she says healthy balls.
Yeah, this is really weird. Why? That's really weird. I don't know why that's.
Or these titles called
Why?
How to Write a Child or.
Why the hell would you have videos like this? Just why? What the fuck is this? Yeah, that's how you always use microphones, right? This is Ready to Glare, but this person is Adam McIntyre. Ready to Glare is not his channel. We're watching somebody who's actually going over this situation going on here, not their channels specifically. Somebody who's just kind of got an overview of the whole thing.
I'm a... Okay.
So, like I said, she ended up treating Adam like an employee as well, which, again, we return to the fact
right?
that Adam
How to Write a
was
Child? How weird.
So, treating
like,
him
what the
like
fuck?
an employee in the first place, I don't know
No.
how you consistently, every single day, ask a young teenager what to post on Twitter and why, and have them explain demographics, audiences, reception of your tweets, and not for a second stop and think this person is a third of my age, also cannot be legally employed, also they're a fan. So all of it, no matter what perspective you look at it in, there's something fucked up there. Whether we're looking at the legality of employment or we're looking at just the fan talent dynamic. I don't know how people around you don't tell you anything, and if you have to hide it from people around you, maybe ask yourself why that is. So in terms of Adam being an employee, quote unquote, so there were tweets being made, and every time Adam tweeted, He would have to run it past Colleen. Colleen would approve it, and there you go. So one of the major moments specifically regarding this quote-unquote employment is in terms of a tweet made about Meghan Trainor. Now, Adam had ran this tweet by Colleen Ballinger. So Colleen was hyping up this tweet about like big news, big announcement, and then the big announcement was a joke being like, I'm coming out as a Meghan Trainor fan.
And also today, if you want to tweet about an announcement...
Yeah, still technically a child. You're absolutely right. And I mean, learning how to ride a child when you are a child might be a good thing to know. That way you don't give your friend Saddleback when he has to be the horse and you're playing cowboys and robbers or something.
Coming at and saying,
I don't know what games kids play
that
anymore.
Time, post the Meghan Trainor coming out tweets. People will find it really funny at the trolling. They didn't. I'm posting the next episode of Quarantine tomorrow. Should I start teasing that? And should I post the Animal Crossing on both accounts now? I would post them now. Remember the pic of you and Flynn, post them ones. And about the Quarantine promo, I would do that after doing the Meghan Trainor series of tweets. People will be tagging their friends in that and sharing it in group chats because it's really weird. And then, boom, you have promo for your video. It's all about getting the overall numbers up for your final promo tweet. This is why I'm slow to respond sometimes. Then I say that I have a folder on my MacBook called Miranda Tweets, and she goes, it's my dream. I post it on my story to promote the new Insta post, and I go, that's what I'm here for. The amount of people you're confusing with your tweets is bringing back retro Miranda and how the social media was always.
No.
This won't play, whatever it is. And
That's
go,
bad.
On posting your
Funny, but bad.
She goes, I don't know, depends on what I have time to do. And I go, okay, well, if you do the announcement at a blank time, then the Meghan Trainor tweets, then the screenshots, and then the thumbnail, and then the video. And she goes, I don't understand what you're saying about Meghan. And I go, okay, so she asked me to reiterate the Meghan Trainor tweet. So I reiterate this tweet. If you do it and say that you have an announcement, and then, which is what happened, then tweet that the Meghan Trainor tweets that I sent you, of you coming out as a Meghan Trainor fan with those edited pictures. And she goes, when should I do that? She threw me under the bus behind the scenes, saying that I was trying to take her down because of this tweet. And she has now gotten me to reiterate this tweet 3 times and has now said, when should I post it? So when everything goes wrong, and I was made to feel crazy and made to feel like I set her up, and she was in group chats with Corey saying that that was my end goal and that was my end plan and stuff, and then no one's believing me. So I send the edit. With whatever caption you want, but imply a huge announcement coming in 15 minutes. And then, 15 minutes after, the Meghan Trainor tweets. Everyone will be starting to think you're announcing something really big, and then you hit them with that. She goes...
Like, what he's saying makes sense to do, trying to promote stuff. But it's really, really strange that you would have this conversation with somebody who's a young teenager as if they're a social media professional who's capable of understanding marketing and all of the things around building a brand for you, or marketing and advertising your product, which is her content, right? Like, it's really strange to even assume that you'd do that.
But should I do that today or tomorrow? Again, confirming that she's on board with the tweet.
I don't know how humor is online these days within that demographic, but to me it seems pretty mild. It doesn't seem like a big deal of a joke to me. Regardless, Colleen had approved this joke. She said it was okay. Let's remember, a woman in her 30s approving a joke by a young teenager, so who does the responsibility fall on? Also, because it's from her account, so regardless, even if he had been 25, it doesn't change anything. Once she tweeted this, people were getting offended because they were saying that she was queer baiting. Colleen then basically dumped again on Adam, as she did over and over again. From what you can see in Adam's videos, that it was this constant spilling of emotions Honestly, it just boils my blood to think of an adult going to a whole ass child and telling them their problems over and over
Yeah, it
again.
makes no sense.
Just expecting them to
None.
fix it. Like, what do you think a 13-year-old is going to do for you? And if you need a 13-year-old to fix your shit, maybe you have bigger problems. She basically blamed Adam for all of this and made Adam feel bad when he ran it by her and she decided it was okay. This was not a miscommunication. This was not Adam trying to pull anything. It was literally, she said yes, then she realized some of her audience wasn't happy about it and she needed someone else to blame because that's easier, right? Now, another thing...
Colleen Ballinger was completely unprepared for the internet to do what the internet does, and what that is shit all over everyone. They shit all over everyone. The internet is a place where people can be anonymous and they can see you and go, ah, person with a face. Now that I don't have a face but you do, I shall now attack in full force. And that's what it is. Welcome to the internet, Colleen, you moron.
That Colleen did, which I guess would be part of the whole employment aspect of this. And again, employment is always in quotation marks.
Yes, that's how you calm down your teenager, I don't even know, your teenager internet boyfriend as a 30-year-old is you neuter them like a puppy.
Here is that she had Adam looking into what her ex-partner Josh was up to. Now, Adam said in his video that he was sorry for the way he treated Josh and the way he perceived Josh at the time, though I'm not the one who has to accept an apology, but I don't really expect a 13-year-old to have a firm grasp on the ins and outs of relationship statuses and love life statuses of a 30-year-old. So
no, it's weird.
We're mean about Josh or misperceived Josh. There's a reason for that, and it's Colleen, because it's not like Adam woke up one day and was like, fuck this guy. Colleen had Adam look into her ex-partner rather consistently and would press him in the DMs.
No, Colleen's
about
30.
tea on Josh.
Here we have
and he was a whole ass teenager.
I go, what's the tea? And she goes, what tea do you want? And I go, some good tea. And she goes, LOL, but what? And I go, did you see Josh following Erica Counts? And now the reason I texted her this was because she wrote about it in the group chat. And she goes, yes, so weird. He must be my biggest fan because I'm all he talks about. It's really weird. He has a girlfriend now, so I don't know why he doesn't just focus on her and stop lying about me and obsessing over me. It's really odd. I don't have much tea, though. Do you? What do you know, bitch? Then I say,
what?
About something that was happening, and she goes, tell
me
everything about this tea, and it had to do with Josh. And I go, he was on that site when y'all were still legally married, so I guess it was something to do with him being on a dating site or something. And she goes, that wasn't the only site he was on. What does that mean? What does that mean? And why are you telling a fucking child this? Why are you telling a
For real, it is the strangest shit.
How does this affect my life in any way?
Why would you have a teenager involved in, like, your marital issues and drama? What the actual fuck is going on there? And why? I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And it's, at least here in the U.S., it seems to be that this gets worse and worse as time progresses in that regard. It's really fucked up. Yeah, it did. This shit got real crazy.
He was on all the dating apps the day after I...
Not the... Jesus fucking criminy.
He always goes off and lies about how I cheated when I literally never did. Well, he was dating tons of girls the entire time, so hypocrite. Also, T. Also, tell me more about the bakery stuff right now, or I'm suing you. So the bakery was the Gossip Garden, and then they had a bakery version of it. It was basically gossip sites where Colleen would make me go and search for things. There you're literally seeing an example of where she's telling me to tell her everything that they're saying. This is what she used me for. She would love bomb me, make me feel like I had a friend, pretend to care about me, and I would just have to do all of her dirty work for her. Which is why a lot of people do not like me on the internet from this time period, because they associate me with my behavior at that time.
So what he just said is important for people to keep in mind as what went on here that he is attesting to. The same thing is that what is done to get teenagers to join street gangs in the U.S. or biker gangs or anything like that, just organized crime organizations, essentially, of whatever variety you choose to call them. And it works out fantastically. And this is also part of how the military is able to recruit kids who are just barely turning 18. They don't know what to do with their life, and there you go. We can give you direction. It's the same thing. It's all the same thing.
No, I was 14, 15, 16. She was making me do this. All right. So then I open up to her by the bakery, and I go, oh, but I'm saying too much now. And she goes, no, you're not. You've said nothing. So try again. I just gave you boiling hot tea, and you gave me nothing. Come on, Queen. So what I told her wasn't good enough, so she tells me, what the hell, I just gave you something really good. Give me more. And then I say about Josh apparently being on gossip sites, blah, 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 blah. But there's her being like, no, you're not. You've literally told me nothing. Sorry, full stop, try again. Wait, stuff we would do in front of him when we hang out together, the three of us never hung out, about Eric, Josh, and Colleen. Haha, it's just shocking how often he makes shit up and people believe him. And it's 2018. Why is this still a thing? His poor girlfriend has to deal with him always talking about me. It's so weird. He can't fathom that maybe he treated me terribly and that's why I left. He's so cocky that he thinks the only way a woman would leave him is if they cheated. And I go, he's a weird one.
You know, you almost have to sit down for a second and think about the fact...
It's really strange. Why the hell is that the relationship that they have if he's supposed to be a fan that she turned into an employee, yet she wants to, have these completely inappropriate conversations with him as a minor? This isn't how you talk to an employee either. Everything about it is so strange.
Why is this 30-plus-year-old woman asking this teenager about her ex-partner and what he's up to? Do you not feel not just inappropriate, but absolutely ridiculous going to someone who's 20 years younger than you and still a child to talk about a relationship that no longer is in order to get dirt on them? And then what? And it's also if you're going to be messy like that, if you're going to be shady like that, you don't have a friend your age, you don't have your best friend who could go creep on the profile of your ex, you don't have that. It has to be this kid who you have power and control.
That's why it's
and
weird.
I think that's one of the common threads here too, is that first of all, she hasn't addressed anything as universe.
That's what makes it all so weird. It's got a gross creep factor to it.
As of today, Sunday, June 18th at 5:21 Pacific time, she has not said one goddamn thing about it. Make of that what you will. Watch her respond right as I upload this. Why are you
Of course, that's
check
how it works.
on your ex? But on top of that, why are you pressing a kid? Because in the conversation, Colleen is like, what's the tea? What's going on? And she almost makes it into a transactional thing of Colleen telling Adam and then pressing Adam for him to tell her something as if it's we gotta trade. And
gets real weird.
Obviously,
creepy.
You wouldn't know that
No.
at such a young age, but as adults, we know that that's transactional and that doesn't scream friendship. I told you something, now you have to tell me something. So again, we have a demonstration of Colleen not only not knowing boundaries, but really taking advantage of a kid and a kid's admiration for her and a kid being such a big fan to get them to snoop, work, and do all of these things that are so out of line and partially illegal that you just have to wonder, was there no red flag in your head at any given point, or are we wearing the glasses that turn red flags green? As of right now, Colleen hasn't addressed anything. When the whole thing with Adam blew up, once he posted his first video, now years ago, Colleen actually tried to claim moral high ground because Colleen had a brief exchange via Adam's DMs with Adam's mom, who was saying that her behavior towards her son was inappropriate and that she, as a then new mother, would understand soon enough that a mom would know that that's inappropriate and enraging and completely out of line. Keeping in mind...
Really, any parent would be able to put that together. That's absolutely ridiculous. You just lapped Waluigi in Mario Kart? Nice. Did you blue shell him to do it? Because that's always the most fun and satisfying, let's be honest. Wait until I watch the apology video. I'll probably watch the apology video after this.
That Adam's mom talked to briefly, just sent one message as far as I understood, to Colleen, telling Colleen that what she was doing was inappropriate. Then Colleen decided that she was kind of going to refer to Adam, but not really, in the sense of, in the video, I was right about Colleen Ballinger. I'll show you that in a second. 36 minutes in, we see that basically Colleen tried to claim a moral high ground by not referring to Adam directly because he was a minor and his mom didn't want him to be dragged any further into all of this mess. She painted it as she was following Adam's mom's wishes, right? So like a really noble, good, morally sound thing to do, which, as we well know now, is rather out of character because realistically what she did do is that kind of thing that a lot of social media influencers do, is to not say the thing but make you understand the thing regardless. So it's like when you tell me that I did something wrong, I can be like, well, I didn't say that. But the reality is, if I imply something heavily enough or if I point in the right direction enough, you're going to understand what I'm saying without me having to say it. Does that make sense?
So just for context, so this clip isn't too confusing. So in this video by Adam, he's watching a video by the creator Cody Rants, who used to be in the Colleen Ballinger fandom, and there's more to be said about Cody Rants based on information that has come out, but that's a different story. In this part, Cody Rants is going over their interactions with Colleen, and Colleen is saying how she doesn't want to send hate Adam's way, but then she makes a video called Addressing Everything, where, like I said, she doesn't really say it's Adam, but she makes it understood enough so that even if she doesn't say it, people will know, and therefore it's all hypocritical, what we were saying about respecting Adam's mother's wishes of leaving Adam out of everything.
Oh.
Yeah, she says she doesn't want her DMs.
Oh, okay, that, what she was saying there made a lot of sense. That's such a random ass thing to look up, though. Like, it's so random. Especially if it's something that you're not going to deal with. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Included, but yet had no problem showing all of mine.
So what's the sense? So what was this then if you were just going to do it? You can see what I'm saying right here.
She's like, I don't know, I'm so nervous. I just want to do the right thing. I hate drama and confrontation. I don't want to bring him hate. I just want this situation to be over.
I don't want to bring him hate. Makes the whole video about him.
I want to respect his mom.
Then never speak her son's name again.
I'm the adult here and I'm trying to navigate this maturely and correctly. I need to think about it. I'm sorry.
Then she uses...
Both can't be true. Both can't be true at the same time.
Yeah, those are exclusive.
She actively tried to ruin me.
Those two things don't coexist. That's true. Is it like, what the hell? The hypocrisy is strong in that one.
She actively tried to ruin my life. That's not dramatic to say.
It herself. Like, make it make sense, girl. I'm so sorry to Adam. After this whole situation, I called Adam on the phone and we talked about it in great length. He's trying to ruin your career. I'm being so dramatic. I'm so sorry that I was so manic and wild and was in a parasocial relationship with this woman to the point where I was being mean to a literal kid. And then I was like, my plan is to paint the video show Adam manipulates you into trusting him and had a master plan to take you down when you got mad about the Miranda thing. Like, girl, you don't have that. Be quiet. No, he's a kid.
I just, like, you have no idea how awful that period was. And to literally see messages that Colleen is, like, texting with someone being like, we're gonna frame this as him being manipulative. We're gonna frame this as him being awful. We're gonna frame this doing all this.
So, as much as Colleen was trying to be respectful or whatever...
Yeah. Colleen's really trying to be respectful by not respecting the wishes of people, right? Shut up. That's so hypocritical and bullshit.
That was all a guise. That was all a way to cover her ass so she could do fucked up shit and then not take responsibility. So that kind of plausible deniability thing, she was doing that, which in and of itself says, okay, so you do know you're doing something wrong.
Which has been the theme of the entire video and situation, really, is that she's doing shit she knows is wrong, and then she's gaslighting the situation to act like it's fine, and to shift the view from her onto Adam as if Adam's the reason shit's gone wrong when things don't work out the way she wants, and if she has to face any form of adversity because she's an idiot. Is it even YouTube if every OG isn't in trouble with it? I mean, no. Because what people want to act like is, oh, well, if you go to Rumble, it's just a bunch of racist bigots. And nobody understands that the only reason YouTube is as censored as it is because it's existed as long as it has, and it went through having all those same people on their platform and had to create rules and ways to regulate their platform. It's something that came with growth.
If you're already really censoring what you say. It's also ironic because in a lot of ways, Miranda Sings / Colleen Ballinger are so uncensored in the sense that they'll say so much shit that is so out of line and so inappropriate, and then they'll see nothing wrong with it. But as soon as it turns into something slightly more personal, like here, then, oh, well, I'm going to be respectful. I'm not going to actually do anything against Adam's mom's wishes, but actually, I'm going to make you understand it without saying it. So there are, like I said, other people involved in all of this. Now, just to name a few, we have Corey, her best friend. We have Trisha Paytas. We have Trent Ballinger. We have, to some extent, Shane Dawson has said some things. So there are a lot of other people involved here. That being said, I did want to focus this video on Colleen Ballinger since she is the center focus of all of this, and I think it's easier to understand everything if we have an idea of what's at the center, and then we can go in all the different directions. Like I said prior, this is not meant to encapsulate everything. If I were you, I would go to watch Adam's videos so you can see everything coming directly from Adam, just so there's no misinterpretation or misunderstandings based on anything I've said. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Frankly, I just...
Okay, so that's pretty much her whole video. She did a good job with that. Now I understand the drama llama, alright? It's still kind of wild, if we're being perfectly honest. This whole situation is absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, it's not just Adam anymore. That's kind of what I figured from what she's been saying and the fact that it's picked up so much traction. And that's part of why I was saying I don't... If she just singled him out, it's even more weird and more gross. But that's just the framing of what we had here for it. So there is that. But we're going to watch Colleen's apology in a minute. I need to go put Neosporin or something on these blisters on my hands real quick, and then I'll be right back because they hurt for no good reason now. Okay. Hopefully that helps a little bit. 'Cause holy shit, my hands hurt. Alright. Now we're going to watch her pretend to have an apology. I'm sure this is going to go every bit as poorly as I expect. Really?
Hey, it's been a while since you saw my face.
Why the hell are you playing an upbeat, happy little tune on the ukulele and trying to have a conversation with us? It's supposed to be a fucking apology for being nasty. Someone slap her.
I haven't been doing so great, so I took a little break. So a lot of people are saying some things about me that aren't quite true. Doesn't matter if it's true, though. Just as long as it's entertaining to you. Right? You guys having fun? All aboard the toxic gossip train. Chugging down the tracks of misinformation. The toxic gossip train. You got a one-way ticket to manipulation station.
Oh, really? Because what we saw wasn't like a gossip chain. What we saw was actual communication from you to your fans. It wasn't gossip. It was we saw it exactly the way that it existed. That's not gossip. And then you're going to try and preach to us about how that's manipulation? Not this? Not what you did. Not, oh, great. This is actually worse than I expected. She's not only not taking accountability and shifting it away, she's actually acting like everybody who believes that she's wrong has been completely manipulated because they can't tell the difference between what they're seeing with their own eyes as communication from her to these people versus fabricated shit. How disgusting.
Toxic gossip train. Tie me to the tracks and harass me for my past. These rumors look like facts. If you don't mind the gaps, I won't survive in the crash, but hey. At least you're having fun. Hi everyone. I've been wanting to come online and talk to you about a few things. Even though my team has strongly advised me to not say what I want to say, I recently realized that they never said that I couldn't sing what I want to say. So here I am, and
Oh, Jesus Christ.
today I only want to talk about the facts. So I hope that you'll be willing to listen. Here we go. Many years ago, I used to message my fans, but not in a creepy way like a lot of you are trying to suggest. It was more of a loser kind of way.
A loser who's also fucking creepy. We fucking saw it. We saw it. We saw the screenshots of conversations. The hell do you mean? I mean, would she be held accountable for it? No, because what she's going to do is she's going to make a song that's really shitty, and she's going to sing off-key and out of tune to shift the blame to somebody else who doesn't even know you, and it's their fault. That's how she's going to do it.
I was just trying to be besties with everybody. It's kind of like when you go to like a family gathering, you know, and there's a weird aunt there who keeps coming up to you and going like, "Hey girl, what's the tea?" And you're like, "Ugh." That was me, but in group chats with my fans. It was weird. I've been sharing my life online for over 15 years. I've poured my heart out to you, and because of that I feel like I'm talking to my friends, but in the beginning of my career, I didn't really understand that maybe there should be some boundaries there. There were times in the DMs when I would overshare details of my life, which was really weird of me. I haven't done that for years, you see, because I changed my behavior, and I took accountability.
Oh my God. And I took accountability. But hey, they're lying. I didn't say the things they said I said. They're making it up and manipulating you. Get out of here.
That's not very interesting, is it? So let's go on the toxic
Oh my God.
gossip train.
Yeah, that's where we are.
The motives fueled with hateful accusations. The toxic gossip train. Steamroll over someone's reputation. Toxic gossip train. Hop on board but close your eyes. Otherwise you'll realize that the train is made of lies. And that person you despise maybe didn't deserve to die. But hey, at least you're having fun.
Yeah, well, too bad you having fun doesn't include you actually being in key or hitting a single note that you should be hitting when you're trying to do these jumps and trying to make this like a upbeat thing. This is going to irritate the shit out of me. You listened to this for 10 years before the singer we talked about yesterday. I mean, you know, some people, I guess, deserve it less. They do. They do. Some people definitely deserve it less.
In all seriousness, I do think it's really important to hold people accountable for their mistakes. We should hope that everyone can learn from their mistakes and grow and change their behavior and be a better person. And this is something that I've always tried to do when I make mistakes. And it's something that I will continue to try to do. What? Oh, you don't care? Oh. I thought you wanted me to take accountability. But that's not the point of your mob mentality, is it? No. Your goal is to ruin the life of the person you despise while you dramatize your lies and monetize their...
Going on, but it looks like we're waiting for the stream to figure itself out again, huh? I think the stream fixed itself. There we go. I don't know when it left, but today it gave me the notification. Yesterday it didn't give me the notification, so I think I went back to where we were.
That's not the
I don't
point
know.
of your mob mentality, is it? No. Your goal is to ruin the life of the person you despise while you dramatize your lies and monetize their demise. Yeah. I feel like I can already hear the comments on this video. She's gaslighting, manipulating. Oh, she's a narcissist and a rat.
Because you are! It's not even just like comments and accusations. That's what you're doing. Based on what we just saw, that's exactly what she's doing. Because they showed us the screenshots of the conversations. They didn't just say, hey, this is what she said and it's my word against hers. They gave us evidence. You're singing a fucking song.
I would never make a mistake like that.
Oh my God, I hate it.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize that all of you are perfect, so please criticize me. Bring out the daggers made from your perfect past and stab me repeatedly in my bony little back.
They probably would. They probably would. Because of the fact that not only were you having these inappropriate discussions with minors, not only were you having an inappropriate relationship with the minor, and I don't mean that you had like a romantic relationship with him. I just mean the way you're talking to him, like the way Colleen was talking to him, the way that he was an underage employee, etc., etc. None of that's appropriate. None of it. And she's just like, yeah, here you go. But like discarding any kind of responsibility for her actions. Just say you fucked up. It's not hard to be like, yeah, I fucked up. I was in a messed up place. I've done a lot of work on myself. I'm a better person now. And hopefully you'll give me the chance to show that moving forward. That would be actually showing some form of accountability. I don't think she knows the word.
I'm sure you're disappointed in my shitty little song.
It kind of makes me want to shit my pants.
Say that I was 100% in the wrong. Well, I'm sorry. I'm not going to take that route of admitting to lies and rumors that you made up for clout.
Yep, made them all up. It wasn't screenshots. That's right.
She did some things that I do not like in her past. So everybody gather around, because we're about to attack, but not based on facts. Oh no.
That's right, guys. It's not facts. It's not facts. Everything we saw in the last video, those weren't screenshots of conversations. Those are figments of our imagination. We've all eaten mushrooms, taken some acid, we're hippie flipping, and just making shit up. Yeah, if I was constipated, that would be something good, but I am definitely not constipated.
Loaded lethal weapon is your fingers on the keys. You don't need any armor when you can hide behind a screen. So shoot me down quick with a click and bang.
Oh, see, there you go. At least it's working for you.
I also wanted to take a minute to talk about that girl, Miranda Sings. You know the one. Yeah, her? She's PG-13. It says that on my website, and it's always been that way. And that's why you won't find my videos on the YouTube Kids app. Anyway,
So, how to write a child. Right? There were a whole lot of videos in there that shouldn't be being shown to kids that are 13. I think everybody saw that in the last video too, right?
I didn't realize it was my responsibility to decide what was appropriate for every kid to see. I've always relied on parents to decide if they're comfortable with their families watching my YouTube videos or coming to my live shows.
Oh my God. But if you put on the website that you're PG-13, that means that you're trying to take it upon yourself to make sure that you're making content that's appropriate for kids that are fucking 13. What part of this does she not understand? Like, she's literally trying to be like, look, I did everything right. Don't mind me, or I don't know the specifics or the nuances to how the world works. I'm Colleen, and I do what I think is best, and you shall accept it. Or you're all just on this train of whatever.
Have I made lots of dumb mistakes? Yes. Am I sad that there's some fans that feel betrayed? Yes. Was my intention to manipulate? No. It doesn't really matter what my intention was, because it seems as though everyone's already decided on that. Let me tell you, it's not very fun to have millions of people all over the world call you the most vile, horrendous, disgusting, life-ruining words that a person can be called, in my opinion. It doesn't matter that these things aren't true. Everyone just believes that you are the type of person who manipulates and abuses children.
Well, when playing a song that is designed in a way where you say you've fucked up and made mistakes in the past, but you're not addressing the fact that you I don't know, recognize the specific things that you did as a problem, and you're instead trying to be like, oh, well, I didn't do any of that. Meanwhile, there's screenshots of you doing exactly that, says you don't take this seriously at all, you think you're able to sweep it all under the rug, and nobody's going to believe you, and everybody's going to turn on the people who are sharing screenshots of conversations that they've had with you that were completely inappropriate to have. She's got good rhymes. I would rather read Shakespeare than credit her on these rhymes. And I hate Shakespeare. Yeah, somehow she didn't think that this song was a problem, that during the filming, editing, or uploading. Meanwhile, her team, quote unquote team, told her she shouldn't say what she wanted to say. So she had the input and advice that this wasn't a good idea. And then she decided to do it in a shitty song because they said don't say it, so she's going to sing it. That was her snarky response. So, yeah. That actually just makes your point even, like, worse on her end. She's a complete dipshit.